I'm Rod Fisher of WealthGuard. I run a specialist probate practice and I'm passionate about avoiding unfair probate fees. Nobody likes to get ripped off, particularly at a time of bereavement, but all too often that's exactly what happens. I'm not saying that solicitors and banks are negligent in what they do, just that in a great many cases they are greedy and greatly overcharge for their services, despite regular press exposure of the problem. When someone dies, an application is usually made to the court to obtain a document called a grant. It's the court's formal permission for the executors to deal with the deceased estate, collect the assets, and pay the beneficiaries. This whole process is commonly referred to as probate and can take anything from a few months to several years to complete, depending on the complexity of the estate. However, most estates are relatively straightforward. Legal expenses are something we'd all like to avoid, and even though the probate costs are paid from the deceased estate, there's still a duty to maximise what's available for beneficiaries. Solicitors and banks are regularly criticised, and rightly so, for their excessive charges for probate work. Many solicitors charge a percentage fee based on the value of the estate, typically 1.5% to 3%. Banks generally charge 4% to 5%, and on top of their charges will be VAT and the disbursements, costs such as court fees. Take for example a typical £500,000 estate. A solicitor charging 1.5% would typically cost about £10,000, including VAT and disbursements, and a bank charging 4% would cost a whopping £25,000. For the same estate, WealthGuard would charge approximately £1,900, a massive saving, because we charge a fixed monetary fee, not a percentage of estate value. What's more, why should a bank account containing, say, £200,000 cost any more to administer than one containing just £2,000 when it's dealt with in exactly the same way? Clearly, it shouldn't. But that's what happens with percentage fee charging. Quite frankly, I feel that charging a percentage fee is simply outrageous and greedy. The alternative is to charge a fixed monetary fee, yet few solicitors will offer this, and neither will banks. Some people appoint a relative or friend as the executor of their will, but when the time comes, the task is often passed, like a hot potato, to a solicitor or bank. Often their lay executor feels unable to act due to lack of legal knowledge, pressing business or family commitments, or ill health. But by instructing a solicitor or bank, they then fall into the high fees trap. WealthGuard offers an alternative. We'll obtain the grant and expertly administer the estate from start to finish for just £1,500 plus VAT and disbursements, regardless of the estate value or the number of holdings. No ifs, no buts, no hidden costs, just great value. If you'd like to appoint a professional executor to relieve your relatives of the burden, but without the rip-off charges, why not give us a call on free phone 0800 849 8095. We'd be delighted to help.